So today we're going to be showing you how to create target lists, attach them to a campaign, and then obviously push that across to Communicator, but it could also be something like MailChimp as well. So the first thing we do is we go into contacts and we can select all the contacts. Selecting all the contacts is one way, but we could be a bit more dynamic. So here we're just going to apply a filter where the contacts town equals, for example, London. So we can apply that filter. And then remember that when we select all, we also want to make sure we select all, not just the ones that are visible on the screen. From here, we can then assign these to a target list. If the target list exists, we can create the target list. We're going to create it here, give it a simple name, for example, and then we can save that down. And then most importantly, remember to then press the update button. So this will update the contacts and relate them to that particular target list. If we also wanted to put other things into that target list now we've created, for example, leads, and we can go back into leads, we can apply the similar sort of filter. So for example, town city equals London. And then this will filter those leads. Then we can again select all of those leads, and then we can go attach these to a target list. And instead of creating a new one, we can use the target list that we've already created and save that down, and that will update that. And if we want to be even more dynamic, we can actually use reports. So within the report writer, we can actually create a list and then assign that to a target list. So within here, we're going to create a simple report, just rows and columns. And then within here, we select what we want to report on. So here, this is going to be on contacts. And then what we want to do is we want to select all contacts where they're related to an account where the account isn't on stop, for example. So we don't want to be emailing people about marketing activities when they're not paying their invoices. And this is where you can get dynamic. It could be based on contacts related to accounts by spend or by region or by sector. And that way you could be a lot more dynamic. Again, choose what you want to display within this list. Normally it's contacts, details, and also the account they relate to. And then obviously you can then save that report down. So once that report is saved down, remember you can always refresh that report, so anyone else that meets that criteria could be added at a later date. So we're going to select our target list, and what we're going to do is add more contacts. So we go to contacts and we're going to add them in from a report, and this will show you the reports automatically related to contacts. So for example, there's a report we wrote beforehand to do with in London, and then that will update there. So very, very flexible with how you can build contacts. You can also build negative contacts so they get excluded as well. So once that's done, then I normally go campaign, create campaign classic, so it takes me straight in, give it a name. Then at this particular point I always give the stage as planning because I don't want to start syncing anything just yet. Say it's an email campaign, and then off the back of this, then we'll start actually putting a start date and end date. This information is going to get pushed across as well. Static means it's a one-time push. Follow up and refresh means we can push more contacts down later in a live campaign. And that way it just gets a bit more dynamic. So once we've created that, now what we want to do is select the target list that we created. So for example, the ones in London. So we can set that. We can also set multiple target lists into one campaign, so put multiple people up at the same time. So for example, if you're doing Hearts, Beds, Bucks and London, you might have 4 different reports and select them all together. And then we go from planning to active, save this down, and then this will automatically then start pushing the contacts and the campaign over to Communicator.